Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be coming up with 10 reasons to own silver with a big twist that will be revealed at the end, but I'm really excited to talk these through, and some of these reasons I'm going to agree more with, others of them I'm going to agree less with, so I could probably make a video on each one of these, and maybe I will, but I'll do a very brief run through today. But the first one is going to be as a hedge against inflation, and I think that this is relatively true. Silver has traditionally been used as a hedge against inflation as it tends to maintain its value over time and can act as a store of value. I think certainly it has acted as a store of value. I think it certainly has not, in short terms, exactly tracked inflation. And that's one of its drawbacks. But on the other hand, when you look at the actual inflationary statistics, in 1964, when they stopped producing 25-cent coins out of 90% silver, and same thing with dimes, half dollars. $1 had about a purchasing power of like $10. Today in silver, that's worth about $16. So over that tracking period, actually, you'd have to see about a 33% price correction down. Even so, more like. What is that? Yeah, like $10 face value, 10 times face value junk silver multiplier, if it was an accurate store of value, but there's probably other arguments, and maybe the inflation statistics haven't actually reflected the exact price of things. I think, but across the board, it actually has acted as a reasonable store of value. The question is, though, past performance is not an indicator of future results. This isn't investment advice, but, that can always be reset if there's other different factors at play with silver. Another reason to own silver is diversification. Investing in silver can help diversify your portfolio and reduce overall investment risk. I don't know that it reduces overall investment risk, but I think that it definitely makes sense to think through having some silver, some gold, some like physical assets, whether that's your allocation towards gold, silver, platinum, palladium, all other types of stuff. Collectible coins are probably not a investment type idea, but some people think about it from that perspective. I think that it can't hurt to have some of that. Just like you'd probably want to have some bonds, you'd probably want to have some cash, you'd probably want to have some stocks and some real estate. A widely diversified portfolio could make sense in terms of protecting downside risk, but just because you're diversified doesn't mean that it's going to be a better returning portfolio. Number 3 is going to be industrial demand. So silver is used in a variety of industrial applications such as electronics, medical equipment, solar panels, and water purification systems, making it a valuable commodity. I think that is relatively true. The industrial demand part of the equation is kind of nice for silver. It's good to have a bit of a use for it. I mean, with gold, it's probably like less than 10% of its demand is industrial. I think silver is closer to half. Now, that also means when there's not industrial demand for silver, that the price can crater. So there's sort of two sides to that sword, but interesting thought. Number 4 is that there's a limited supply. Silver is a finite resource and its supply is limited. This can increase its value over time, especially as demand for the metal increases. I think that is also in the somewhat true category, because there's also a lot of silver that's coming up from in the earth. It is it's an element. There's a lot of it in the world. And it's more plentiful and less valued than gold. So I don't think that we'll be seeing too much of a silver shortage. There's lots of mining companies where it's very profitable for them to mine. They're going to keep mining, and the price of silver isn't going to just shoot up and up and up because there's more supply being added, though it is limited technically. 5 is that it's affordable compared to other precious metals like gold. Silver is relatively affordable, making it accessible to a wider range of investors. I think that that's true. Certainly, it's much more fun and easy to own, 10 1-ounce rounds of silver than 1 10th-ounce round of gold. And as a result, I think, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are not spending thousands. And if they are spending thousands, they might want to have a little bit more to show for it than gold. Now, if you're spending millions, you're probably going to want to put that in gold because the silver gets super bulky to transport at that point. But it is affordable, and it does open up a lot more investors to it. There's probably more silver stacking channels than there are gold stacking channels, as an example, in terms of who can do it. 6, it's a physical asset. Owning physical silver in the form of coins or bars provides investors with a tangible asset that they can hold and store. I agree, it's nice to have some physical value. You can carry it with you. I generally tend to prefer physical over buying shares of silver, just because I feel like there is some value to the sort of I want to have it on me and not, sitting in a vault and I just get a share that owns some of that. Is it really there? I don't know. It's not something that's a huge factor for me, but I do kind of like the idea of having it on my person and being able to rotate this shiny metal in the light as I'm doing through this video. Number 7, silver is highly portable. It's portable, which means it can be easily transported and stored in small amounts. I think, yes, gold is better for that, though, because right here, this is a tube 20 silver eagles. That can be transported around. It's worth like $500, call it, with some of the premium, or like 400, I don't know, 60 with the current silver price. That's a nice amount, but one gold coin the size of this, it would actually be a smaller size because gold's more dense, would be worth $2,000. So it's not quite as portable as gold is, but it's comparatively portable. It's better than carrying around that amount in copper. I think there's also an aspect of potential for capital appreciation. As demand for silver increases, its value can rise, potentially leading to capital appreciation for investors. I somewhat agree, but I think silver for me is more of like a hedge. It's more of something that's outside of my normal investment portfolio. I'm not buying it to like trade it necessarily, unless I'm buying it in like a dealing operation where I trade it very shortly, but I'm not buying it to like turn around and sell it in 6 months or 2 years, because honestly, you're going to lose, because you're going to have to pay a premium to buy it for the most part. And then when you sell it, if you can recoup that premium, it's going to be a lot of effort, and you're going to have to, you may not get that. You may have to sell quick to a dealer, so if it doubles, then well done. But I think it's better for a longer term vehicle, is just my personal experience. 9, liquidity. It's a highly liquid asset, meaning that it can easily be bought and sold on the open market. Definitely agree with that. That is a big advantage. There's always going to be a buyer, especially on more recognizable forms of silver like this. Now, there is that slight issue, though, where you're going to have to take a haircut on the value. But, if you have a bunch of silver and you need cash, you'll likely find somebody who can pay floor like 85% of the silver value and immediately have the cash. Or if you take a few days and can use online, really the full melt value or a little bit more, which is great. And there's not a lot, art, certainly not the case. Collectible coins, probably not the case. And then 10, again, store of value. That ties in with the first point. Throughout history, silver has been recognized as a store of value, which means that it can help protect wealth and preserve purchasing power over time. Definitely agree with that. It's a good store of value. Now, what the actual value is, I think that can really fluctuate, and we tend to think of things value in dollar terms. Other people would think of it in euro terms, yen terms. If you have bolivars and you're in Venezuela, silver is looking like a pretty good store of value. But sometimes it's going to, decline relative. A strong dollar probably means tougher for the silver prices when you're operating in the dollar mode. So anyways, those are the 10 reasons to own silver. The wild twist that these were all generated by ChatGPT on OpenAI. So it was really fun to react to these. I actually thought that ChatGPT did a pretty good job and raised a lot of questions that I'm now maybe going to address in a full video of its own. Like, I think it would be interesting to discuss the affordability for silver, what that means. That might not be a good thing, but I think it generally tends to be a good thing. I think most of these are reasons to own silver. A lot of them have a lot of nuances, and then there's also probably a lot of, once you decide that silver is interesting to own, then there's a lot of strategy about how to go do it. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any thoughts or comments down below. Excited to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to visit our website, treasuretown.com, to stay up to date on everything going on the channel and possibly get some great deals on coins and collectibles. We look forward to seeing you on our future videos, and best wishes until then.